So, Steven, you recently made some announcements closing out 2016 prior to heading into 2017. What are you really excited about?
December 10th, we've got a title fight, Jesus Cuellar and Abner Mares, and then about 6 weeks later, we've got a rematch of probably the biggest fight of the year in Santa Cruz and Frampton. Guys like Mares and Cuellar are looking and seeing, this massive fight that happened, in July between Santa Cruz and Frampton. And they're saying, they wanted to step up. They were both slated to take on other guys, and with all due respect, guys not as high quality. And they both said after that July fight, well, if those guys are doing that fight, well, then we're going to step it up too. The other piece of it, and I think this is, for real hardcore fans, they know who CHARLO and Julian Williams are. Fights like Williams versus CHARLO are the fights that determine who are the next stars. You've got, CHARLO, has already established his name and defended his title. You've got Julian Williams, who is sort of the guy who's been on everyone's next generation list for a couple years. And now it's time to sort of pay the piper. It's like, okay, you've been a prospect to watch. Now you got your wish. You got your title fight. These guys have been circling each other. They don't like each other. What Julian is fighting for is really, not to be melodramatic, is everything he has fought for in his boxing career. All of a sudden, he's on that stage. It's like, okay, you got your wish. Here it is. What are you going to do with it?
So it's like if we had a hard stop and that was it, that was the only fight we were here to discuss, that'd be a great night.
Right.
You sit in your seat, you'd be excited about that night.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Not the only fight we have that night.
That's right. The other one, Abner Mares is a guy who, pretty quietly has one of the best resumes in the sport. He's fought on SHOWTIME. He's going on 12, 13 times. And Abner Mares was scheduled to fight another guy. And he basically said, you know what, I thought about it some more. I want the champion. The one way I would explain Jesus Cuellar, he trains in Marcos Maidana's gym. He's also Argentinian. He's Marcos Maidana. So that tells you everything you need to know about his style.
I saw him completely dismantle Juanma.
Right, yeah.
Chop him down like a tree. I mean, every punch was with bad intentions. Right?
He's a guy who doesn't know how to throw a jab.
And then you pair that with, I say Mares is one of my favorite types of fighters where it's almost like that old school. He doesn't like to stay hit.
Right.
You hit me, I'm hitting you back, and wherever that leaves us, it leaves us. So, like, you take those two, right? Someone that hits with rocks, basically, and someone that doesn't like to stay hit. It's firework.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. That one, you could have 2 second-round knockouts. You could have 2 12-round decisions in those two. I mean, it's very quietly one of the strongest cards of the year.
But you also have a fight in England going on.
That's one of our long-term projects. And, Anthony Joshua is another name that the hardcore fans know. But this could be a guy who, in a couple years, we're all flying to Vegas to see, regularly. I mean, you never know. That's the great thing about your sport. You can't make stars. People say you can build stars. Stars build themselves because you can put all the marketing behind a guy in the world, and once you get in the ring, it doesn't matter. So sure, on paper and in person, Anthony Joshua has all the tools. I mean, he looks the part. If you were casting the heavyweight champion of the world in the movie, he looks like it. He talks like it. And he's got the draw and the appeal in the UK. Is he going to, be the guy to sort of bring the mainstream, back to the sport and, carry Vegas events? I don't know. I know we're going to find out pretty quickly, and so getting him in probably his toughest fight today, Eric Molina, who gave Deontay Wilder a really tough fight.
Who comes to fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing about boxing, and you don't get stories like boxing and other sports. Eric Molina, in his free time, so to speak, teaches special ed in South Texas. He's a special education teacher, and you can't not root for that guy. He's never going to be the guy who is, filling up arenas, but he fights his heart out, and then he goes home and teaches a special education class. Like, you can't, as much as you like Anthony Joshua, I mean, it's intriguing. It's an intriguing story.